This month, the word breakthrough was on my mind in June and July. So July, we had a breakthrough month. July, we did more closings than we've done for quite a while. And there's just a momentum that's in the team. Today, I have multiple people every time there's a meeting say, I'm really sorry, I'm showing property. Multiple people texted me this morning saying, I'm showing property. And they jump on and we see them pop on and pop off. There is a lot of business right now. There are a lot of leads. And I will tell you something, guys, the international desk is now supplying between 15 and 20 active buyer leads a day, 6 days a week. It's added 450 leads to our pipeline. Many of them right now are performing and being shown property. We're converting them at about the same rate, if not a little bit better than Zillow. When we started Zillow leads, if you remember, it was 2.5 months before we put one in escrow because there's a buildup. So it is very exciting, and I want to encourage you, watch closely the Go-Getter channel, watch closely your WhatsApp channels, and every now and again, somebody will tell me, I don't have leads in my area. Somebody just told me that with Orange County, and honestly, it was a joke. I went back in and there were 11 Orange County leads between Saturday and Monday. It's just that the individual wasn't on there to look at them. There is so much activity. So we started to talk about the word breakthrough. And we've started an initiative on the Win Team, and it's open to everybody. Whether you show up at the Win Team at 6:30 or not, you're welcome to be a part of the Win Team. You can use the portal, which is members.thewinteam.net. There's about 60 training videos on there on how to ink your business, how to build your business. So Samala can be there with 10 people a year from now, and that's her business. We're all part of this amazing EXP structure together, and you can use our leads and our resources to build your business. Many of you have just signed up for the 50 Blitz leads. You can, as soon as you put 50 of them on property alerts, you can have 50 more, and 50 more, and 50 more, and 50 more. Some of you want to put 1,000. Jonathan Morani turned to me and he says, Andy, I want 1,000 leads through the 50 lead program before the end of the year. So he's hired a VA. He's building his business. The VA is helping him put 1,000 people on property alerts. He's setting up the property alerts. The property alerts originate push notifications. The push notifications come through to his cell phone, his VA's cell phone. They then turn around and set appointments. Jonathan's busier than he can handle. So he's taken me seriously, and he is building a business. Some of you are coming in, you just need that first commission. You need your first couple of commissions. I get that, no problem. But you have an opportunity here. It's like a franchise and sub-franchisees. You have an opportunity to build a business. All you have to do is think. But the resource is there. So let's talk a little bit about breakthrough. A lot of people, you hear speeches about breakthrough, and there are folks, for example, who say, why don't you come to my seminar and you can walk on coals, or you have somebody who wears a pretty blue suit and stands up on stage and gets you all excited. And it's called dopamine and adrenaline. It's all about the frontal cortex of the brain. I'm fascinated by neurology. And speakers have learned how to manipulate neurology or neurological science, that everybody in the room can get super excited, pay $199 for whatever the guy's pitching, and 2 days later it's gone. Because life doesn't change by dopamine rush. Life changes by strategy, performance, which is why we stress so much KPIs. Businesses build based on KPIs and performance and strategy. That's how business, not real estate agents, business. Real estate agents aren't business people. Real estate agents are sole proprietors of a sales business. Did you all hear me? Real estate agents, we call ourselves business people. We're not. Business people have standard operating procedures, KPIs. They have a manual that says how they operate their business. The business runs whether or not they're there. They have a profit and loss statement. They have quarterly bank statements. They have public declarations of what's going on with their business. They have employees who know exactly what to do and when to do it. That's a business. So Subway has a sandwich business. Bob Subs at the July the 4th festival at Del Mar Fair, Bob Subs does not have a business. He has a sole proprietorship making sandwiches. He maybe has his daughter helping him spread butter and mayonnaise on the bread, but he's not have a business. He has a little thing that he brings up that he sells sandwiches. Nothing wrong with that, right? It's capitalism. A business is where you have the mental capability and the interior vision to create a structure that others can duplicate what you do. Most real estate agents are sole proprietors. We barely have a list. I still see real estate agents scratching things down on bits of paper, trying to find out what they remember to do today. Most real estate agents don't run their business off a CRM. They don't run their business off shared Google Docs. They don't run their business in real time. Doesn't put them down. They're great real estate agents, but 99% of real estate agents in the United States of America die and nobody inherits their business. Because it's not a business. We've said this many, many times. How many of you know dentists? Dentists always sell their business. You know why? Because they know exactly who their customers are. Your customers right now, you are dependent on me and Annette and Kathy. We want that to change. We want you to adapt a business strategy so that we can fill the top of your funnel. When you bring on new people, fill the top of their funnel, and 2 years in, that's your business. You're running that business. And let me tell you this. You start a business going, hey, if you do what I do, you won't have to work in 2 years. After 2 years, you won't have a single employee that works. It's the most stupid idea. You build a business based on, if you do my business, you don't have to work. After 2 years, you're not going to have anybody working. People do what they see you doing. So create a business structure that others can see you and admire you for it. So let's come back to August. I want to share with you a little bit about August. Lots of training a day, but this is crucial for what we're doing, and I'm going to share some charts with you exactly what we're doing. So who experiences, let me ask you this question first of all. I want you to be honest with me. Online, can we please pop up the chat so that we can see the chat immediately? And I want to ask you this question. How many of you online or in this room would like a breakthrough of some kind in your life? And not everybody, but how many of you would? A lot of people, right? What about online? How many of you would like to experience a breakthrough? Let's have a look. Yeah, look at this. So I'm going to give you, you know me, I'm really into etymology, and I love the study of words, and I want you to listen to a very fine distinction. Who are the people who experience breakthrough? Answer the question. Who are the people who experience breakthrough? Let me hear it. Receptive to change, says Doug. Correct. Who are the people who experience breakthrough? You know, I'm going to go a step further. Online and in this room, how many of you have heard somebody who got you all hyped up, blue suit, earring, whatever, you know, all that. And then 2 days later, it felt like, oh gosh, I don't want to hear about breakthrough again. I've tried so many times, and you got disappointed. How many of you have been disappointed that breakthrough has not happened the way you wanted it to? Let me see. That's an honest, you see, look at that. You see? You know, I pastored for years. I know this stuff is true. The only issue is whether you're honest enough to admit it. So online, how many? Yeah, you see, look, me, right? So it bears a lot of weight to decide who are the people who experience breakthrough, Tremaine. Who are they? By the way, congratulations to Tremaine. Back on the team, love him. His wife just got an extremely elevated job in the government and is doing extraordinarily well. We need to give a round of applause to him and to his family. Doing very, very well. So let me ask you this question. Yeah, he comes in here and out, and people are like, who's that? And that's Tremaine right there. That's the man, right? Navy, servant. He doesn't wear anything. I told him, dude, where's your cap? Where's your hat? I do serve the United States government. You're Navy. Wear your hat. So he doesn't have a hat yet today. And I swear to God, if I don't see you in a hat next time, I'm going to buy one. I'm going to put it on your head. We're going down. We're going to fight.
He used to come to our meetings. We're the old building of fatigues.
I remember that. I loved it. I loved it. Okay, so come with me. Who are the people who break through? Bada boom. So it's the ones that keep breaking as a lifestyle habit. So do you mind if I tell the story that I told at the beginning of this? Can I tell it really quickly? I'm going to tell this story quickly. I want you to bear with me because this is going to be August. You're going to hear this 26 days this month. You're going to hear the same thing. So years ago, I was in the gym. Obviously, don't go anymore. I was in the gym, and one of these muscly type guys, you know, they love to get tattoos, muscle guys. I don't know why it is. It's that tattoos, muscles, they go together. So one of these muscly guys came and he had a red apple. And we were all just standing around talking. And he just like takes this red apple in his hand like this. And I hear the sound. And he just splits the apple open in his hands. So I'm looking at this apple. Here's this beautiful apple, and he eats this apple. And I'm like, I can't do that. Intimidated the crap out of me. So what I did is I saw he had another apple. I said, do you mind if I have that apple? He said, yes. I said, I'm not going to eat it right now. He says, okay. They kind of laughed at me in the gym because I was like 180 years older than any of them. But he gave me this apple kind of out of pity. So I went to the bathroom. And in the bathroom, guess what I did? Couldn't do it. Has anybody ever tried? You ever tried? So you put your thumbs right at the core. You put your thumbs right at the core and you pull like hell, right? And I couldn't do it. So I said to myself, typical Andrew, I want to break an apple, right? So I established KPIs. It's a true story. And I got one of those thingies. What do you call those thingies? Hand grip thingy. And started every day. And I told myself I got to do at least 5 minutes a day with the hand grip thingy. And I'm going to train. So I trained. And I knew if I did the hand grip thingy, eventually my hands would be strong enough. So I wanted a breakthrough, but every day, what was I doing? I was training, so I was breaking through. That's why everything on this team we base on KPIs, the 8 power moves you hear me talk about this afternoon, right? That Rita's doing. She's got her first listing. I could list people all over the room. Now watch. Yes. So I'm not, Kathy always wants to get the bottom line, not going to do it. So listen, she just got an offer also. Breaking. It's breaking, right? Cut a long story short, it took me 2 months. And after 2 months, I learned something about apples. By the way, don't try this with a green apple. It's bloody impossible. So get a red apple and, you know, not a stale one. And I pulled this apple and you hear something. Do you know what it is? Yeah, you hear this creaking. I'm like, yes. And I hear this creaking. Took me 1 more month and I was able to split that apple open. Why did I have breakthrough? Because I didn't give up. I had a strategy and I was continuously breaking. So those of us who want breakthrough in August, it's based on a strategy. Part of that strategy is the 8 power moves that we have. Part of it is that we supply leads in the top of the funnel. Part of it is the accountability piece, because this is something else we do as agents. We drift on. And how many times have you been to a real estate agent gathering? We all know the market's down. It's a tough time. They go, how are you doing? Oh, I'm great. I've got 4 in escrow. How are you doing? Oh, I'm great. I got 6.
You know, we were taught years ago to say unbelievable because you don't know if you're unbelievably good or unbelievably bad. So I would always say it's unbelievable.
So it's an illusion, right? It's an illusion. But how many of you can pay the bills with an illusion? You pay the bills with money. So money is a result of performing KPIs that creates an inevitable result. So let's come back to breaking. I want to show you a video. And it says exactly what I'm talking about. Let's show it. So just pause it for a second. Can everybody online hear this?
Roger Bannister break all mile records on the same ground on which he had run his first mile race.
So let me stop
Up
for a
till
second.
yesterday, the world record for the mile stood at 4 minutes,
by the
1.4 seconds.
Of,
But as Bannister...
Can you stop it? This is a gentleman by the name of Roger Bannister. This is 1954, 9 years after Nazi terrorism was eliminated from Europe. 9 years after. No internet, no pagers, no fax machines. This man had been trying to crack the apple, create breakthrough. Nobody in the world had ever run the mile in less than 4 minutes. He was determined to do it. He was at Oxford. Just by word of mouth, he let it out that he was going to do it on this certain day. 3,000 people showed up. Look at them in overcoats. It was so cold they had to wait for hours for the wind to die down so that he could run. No sponsors, no Nike, no fancy shoes, no suits, no check me out walking through the stadium. Just a humble guy showing up, skinny Englishman. And he takes off his tracksuit and have a look at it. No insignia on it, no fanfare. All he knew was what? He knew he wanted breakthrough, and he had been breaking through week after week. So he he got two of his friends to come with him, and they were his pacers. And his two friends, you're going to see it right now, paced him. And they started really fast, and he followed behind. So it pushed him to run faster than normal. Then at a certain point, his other friend ran in front of him and paced him again, until the end where he had enough energy left, because he'd already exceeded, broken the limit. He had enough energy left, and you'll see the result. Have a look at what happens.
Lined up for the start in this race between the 3As and Oxford University, he knew that he had two colleagues with him who'd help him beat that time. This is the story of the race in one continuous film sequence, a sequence that runs just under 4 minutes. Everything went to plan. Chris Brasher, with whom Bannister had been training, took the lead. Bannister lay second, and Chataway was coming up into third place. 150 yards gone, and it's Brasher first, Bannister second, Chataway third. That was the way the three of them had planned it. Brasher to set the pace at first, Chataway to take over later.
Right here. So this guy's pacing you. So that's like your power partner. That's the point I'm making. The guy behind, these three are close friends, but he's going to get exhausted. See, when he gets exhausted,
the end of the first quarter-mile lap. Time 57.4 seconds. They were ahead of the clock. And still, Brasher set the pace, Bannister second, Chataway third.
This gives me chills. Humans working together like this gives me chills. We're into so much ego, and this is about self-sacrifice. You're making something extraordinary happen that affected the whole world. By the way, that's kind of how Englishmen work. Sorry. You see how British it is? You wait till the last round. Is it? Yeah.
The end of the second lap and half a mile gone. Time 1 minute 58.2 seconds. Still ahead of the clock. But there was another half mile to go.
In the crowd.
Could they keep up the pace?
No digital stopwatches. Again, there's a big, nasty stopwatch.
1,100 yards gone, and Chataway starts to spurt ahead.
Now
overtakes Bannister and then Brasher. And the gallant Brasher, having achieved his selfless pacemaking task,
you see the guy drop off?
Now it's Chataway leading, Bannister second.
This is why I promote power partners in the wind team. They feel it. See the crowd feel it now?
The 3/4 mile mark and the time 3 minutes 0.5 seconds. Bannister, still in second place, would have to do his final lap almost as fast as his first one to beat the 4 minute mile.
You hear that? You know how hard that is? Any runners in this thing? Anybody know about running? So, just
450 yards to go, and Bannister takes over. Watch his giant stride take him to the front as he races the last lung-bursting furlong to the finishing post. This was it, the final effort against the seconds that have kept him and many others from the 4-minute mile. The tape is broken, and so is the record athletes have long been dreaming about. But at first, Bannister knows little about it. He stumbles into the arms of his coach, completely exhausted by his magnificent effort. And that's how Roger Bannister, the 25-year-old medical student, became the first man in the world to run a mile in under 4 minutes.
all right, so
3 minutes, 59.4
I
seconds
think that's a very
to be
moving
exact.
video. Look, there's the stopwatch. Do you know that within 1 year, 3 other people broke that record? Because in their heads, people couldn't conceive doing it until somebody else did it. So again, breakthrough. It was about discipline. He knew what he wanted and he ran for it. So on a team, and when you build your businesses, you need to know what you're running for. We don't just want to pat you on the back to keep you in the team to say, please stay with our team. We want you to share with us the vision, that you have a clear vision for your children, for your husband, for your wife, for your family, that you are this breakthrough person. You have an opportunity to be what we call a generational breakthrough catalyst. Has anybody heard that term? So most of us have a generational process of our family. You look back over your family and you'll see that you are very often, or that's not true, you are possibly in a pivotal place in your family where you create what's called generational change. It's not generational change that you have a house in the wine country and a car and look bigger and faster than everybody else. It's basically irrelevant. What's relevant is if you're able to establish something that generationally turns the understanding of your family over what you're good at, whether it's medicine. So what was a generational change? Person who discovered penicillin. That was a generational change, not just for the world, but for that family. Nobody had ever done that before. What about the light bulb? Generational change. Excuse me, what about McDonald's hamburgers? The guy came from a loser family of salespeople, but it was a generational change. So he had a clear vision. Now, you may say, Andy, it's not important to me to do that. I just want to make enough money to support the family. You're in the right place. But some of you have a chance to be a catalyst for generational change in your family. I'm that catalyst in my family. So I grew up extremely poor, grew up in the projects. Hard to believe, isn't it? White people in projects. Yep, happens that way. My dad rode to London every day with sixpence in his pocket. That was his job. And his job in London was to go to the government-owned projects, which were very dangerous in London. It's where Bother Boys came from and all that horrible stuff. And his job was to knock on the doors and collect cash rent for the government in a leather bag and get home safely. So I'm a catalyst for generational change in my family. And I will tell you, Jonathan is going to be the next catalyst because Jonathan is learning scale, and Jonathan is going to be what I call the hospital builder of the Warburton family. That's the impact he's going to have on society. He will make money and success that he will build hospitals for less privileged people. That's our son. Because he's a generational catalyst. It's not about you making more money. Are you that generational catalyst? Some of you are. And you know it in your heart. You just need the system to get there. So now I'm going to make it very, very specific. In August, there are many of us that are going to create breakthrough. And that breakthrough in itself is important, But what's more important is it will signal to you it can be done. It will signal to you it can be done. So let's go to the next piece here. We've got a challenge. And I sat with everybody on the Win team at 6:30 in the morning, and I said, guys, there's 210 people on the team. Many people park their license with us because they get encouragement, they get training. We're an encouraging bunch of people. Some of them are really hardworking real estate agents. And I said to everybody on the Win team, is it unreasonable that out of 210 people, 15 people open 2 new escrows? So please now, no illusions, that 15 people open 2 escrows in a month and 15 people open 1. That's 30 people, leaving 185 who do nothing. Is that reasonable? Let me ask you in the room now and online. Is it reasonable that 15 people could put 2 properties in escrow when we have 1,000 leads a month? Is it reasonable? Yes or no? Is it reasonable that 15 people would put 1 in escrow in a month in addition to that? Is that reasonable? Everybody agreed. There was not one person. It wasn't like Andy was intimidating. I just said, come on, guys, tell me. We're up at 6 o'clock in the morning. What do you think? And everybody agreed. So now here comes what I call the divergence. The divergence between the rah-rah of a conference and the results of a confluence. Listen. The rah-rah of a conference and the results of a confluence. A confluence is when multiple rivers merge together and form a large river. What's the confluence? The confluence is where you have a power partner, your power office open houses, your power hours, your power scripts, your power leads. You put them together in a confluence accountable to 2 other people on your team, and you cross the line in record time. A confluence creates results. A confluence is much more important than a conference. I don't want to hype you. I want to empower you to be the most powerful version of you. And this is the start point. So the start point is 15 win team members with 2, 15 with 1. So what I did here, typical Andrew, I said, let's break this down into KPIs. Typical Andrew, sorry. Here's the names of the individuals who said, yes, I want to be part of this. I said, each of you needs to choose a power partner. Almost all have, some haven't, power partner. The power partner is 1 5-minute call a day. We've made a strict rule, no politics, no blah, 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 no opinionated self-indulgence. All you do is call for 5 minutes. Hey, Felicia, it's Andy. How are you doing on your power tracker? How many appointments do you have this week? How many offers have you written? So we have a baseline minimum of 6 appointments a week and 2 offers a week. And everybody accepted that. Because if you set the appointments, you're going to have the offers. If you have the offers, you're going to have the escrows. Now you've got a confluence that brings results rather than a conference that brings hype. So here's all the agents. Here's the power partners. I wanted to know how many lead connections do you have in your FUB? So people are entering it right there. And they can add, now they're starting to understand they can add on 50 more and 50 more and 50 more based on our Blitz program, which you know about. The number of prospects in my BOB. This is different. These are the people in your book of business. When you've got 24 people in your BOB, you're going to sell 24 homes a year. 24 active people. So how many? They put it in. Now look. How many do you already have in escrow? People are just filling it out right now. And I asked everybody to fill it out by the time we get back from our trip on Sunday. You'll hear from me anyway. How many already have one in escrow? But that has nothing to do with this column. Here it comes. What are the number of appointments per week, your goal and actual? Here it is right here. Let's stop talking. Let's get on the track. Take off your tracksuit. Take off all the self-protective gear. Get on the track and let's run. So, what is your goal for your number of appointments? Look, 8, 6, 4, 2, 4, 5, 10, 10. Look, 3, 2. Right, they haven't done it yet. 10, 5, 5, and so on. And now, as the week goes by, you're counting your appointments because that's how you win. You're looking at that stopwatch all the time, measuring your KPIs. You have to look yourself. Am I doing it? And then when whoever your power partner is, I forget, calls you in the morning and says, Di, look, in column F, you said goal 4, you've done 1, and we're 6 days in. What's the problem? Now you've got 4 weeks of what? Breaking through. So you hit a breakthrough. And I promise you something. The people who are breaking 4 weeks in a row will absolutely, indisputably put 2 in escrow. It all comes down to, are you breaking? Didn't you see at the end of 1 lap, they said, oh, it's just under 1 minute. At the end of 2 laps, they said, oh, it's just under 2 minutes. At the end of 3 laps, they said, oh, it's just under 3 minutes. At the end of 4 laps, they said, breakthrough. So you have to stop cheating, if you like. Just face it. Week 1, you either opened one or you didn't. You either hit your appointment goal or you didn't. And I can take you right now to the WhatsApp feed. I can take you right now to the Go-Getter channel. And we have a plethora. We have a challenge right now. We're even thinking about turning iconnect into a lead channel where people can buy leads off iconnect because we've got so many leads coming in, we don't know what to do with them. Appointments. Now let's go across to August new escrows. Each agent has said, look, I'm going to do 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3. Who says 3 right here? Mirka. 3. Who says 3 right here? Guadalupe. 4. James. Guess what? He's green. Why is he green? He already put 2 of them in escrow. Right, go down to the bottom. There's some people who aren't even participating in this yet. Like Cameron's not participating in it. We're checking him, and he's got a goal of 2. He's put 1 in already. Congratulations, Cameron. Christopher Smith, he's not participating just because of job. He can't be there at 6:30 in the morning, right? Chris has already put his first one in, $800 and something thousand, right? Now, these are the people who say, I want to be part of this. If you want to be part of this, and I hope you do, and you're not part of it already, it does not mean you have to come at 6:30 in the morning. I think you'll do a lot better if you do. It does not mean you have to. We want to encourage you, accept or choose a power partner that will hold you to your stats. And if the only stat you have, if you ignore all the rest of the power moves, and the only stat you have is, I'm going to create 4 to 6 appointments a week. You create those 4 to 6 appointments a week, you will sell minimum 1, probably 2 deals. So I'd like to ask online, are there any people online right now who would like to, or in this room, who would like to participate in this? And I will put your name on here. Is there anybody who's not on here who'd like to be a part of it? Okay, so could somebody write this down? Jenny, Kathy, somebody write these down. You ready to go? Samala, right? Tiba, sorry. So Tiba, not on it. Let's get her on. Who else? Say your name. First name? Gabriella, last name? Barnes. Gabriella Barnes. Right? Anybody else in this room? Put Aja McGowan. She will. She's back August the 11th, so we'll just cut hers in half. Anybody else online who wants? David Flores. Is somebody getting these down? You're getting them, right? 100. Great. David Flores, Cassandra, Diane Caddy. Great, Diane. Aris, I love it, my brother. He's doing phenomenally well. Color Long, I think you're on it already, Color, sweetie. Trang, you're on it. No, you're not on it. Let's get Trang on there. Anybody else? All right, anybody else? There's 60 of you online. Does anybody else want to be part of this 15 and 15? Okay, perfect. So that's going to make it roughly 45 or 50 people. I'm going to stop in just a minute on this because we've got more things that we need to train you. Listen to me closely, please. Hear me out. How many of us are determined that we break something each week so we have a breakthrough at the end of the month. Are we all determined? Let me just give you a couple of ingredients, very clear. Number one, create a breaking through lifestyle. Can I tell you something, kids? Don't live one ordinary day and never go backwards. Don't live one ordinary day and never go backwards. Going backwards sucks. And if you do, it ain't going to work. And you're going to have another decision you have to go forward. So, create a breaking through every day. God's given you one life. Live it. Be breaking through every week. We're all lucky enough to be in a position like with Zillow, you're going to hear some stuff about them in a minute, that gives us an opportunity that's enormous that every single person in this room can build their own business. So number one, create a breaking through lifestyle.
After you started your breakthrough, which I think you started it last week, I changed one of my passwords to my business as breakthrough now. So, well, I'm not telling you which email it is, but that way I see it every day or whenever I sign in. Breakthrough now, breakthrough now, breakthrough now. That's what my password is.
So why do you think she did that? Would you guys like to hear a little personal story about Annette? Anybody want to hear it? Anybody online want to hear it? Do you want to hear it?
Great.
So when I met Annette, nothing wrong with it. I can't remember what size dress you had at that time.
16.
She was a 16 dress. And I was in Remax.
It wasn't really a dress. It was a muumuu.
I was in Remax, and I was sitting in the conference room. And she walked into the conference room, and I was actually bidding on of course, sorry, sounds stupid.
Madonna and
I
Child.
was bidding on a Madonna and Child, You Know My Home, in French
Painting.
at the Galerie Lafayette in Paris. And that's what I was doing in the workroom. And Annette walked in. What are you doing? We got into a conversation. She had sticks in her hair. And I don't want to give you the whole story, but bottom line, she had moved out here with her husband, who had by this time back in Kansas, she was architect in Kansas, running an architectural firm. And she gave it all up to hold on to her marriage, even though he'd been with 12 different girlfriends and hadn't told her in the first couple of years of their marriage. So she, being a loyal person, gave up her job. Her dad owned a huge business in town here, and he worked for her dad.
Which lasted a week.
After a week, she went to breakfast one morning and found him having breakfast with a new girlfriend. She said,
Dominic was 8 weeks old.
She said, you have till lunch to get out. Packed his stuff, put it on the porch. That was it. She never looked back. Now,
my future you began.
I could tell you a lot of things about how, even in their personal relationship, how, dark rooms were attributed to her, where things happened that she was demeaned. So I saw this woman wearing her hair over her eyes. The two reasons all men think that I married Annette did not exist at that time. That was grâce à our doctor in Newport Beach. So her eyes. And I saw this woman, and I decided I wanted to be a part of everything she was going to be. So I said, I'm going to do something really dumb. I'm going to go to Yahoo. I'm going to buy you an email address, because you think that you were put here for the pleasure of men. Actually, men are put here to serve you. So that's what a princess is. Of course, I come from England, and I know I studied history. And when a princess walked through the streets of London, everybody bowed to the princess, male and female. So I said, what I want to do is get you an email. So I got her an email, laprincesseannette@yahoo.com. So that every day she opened an email, she would read who she was. And I said to her, don't clap me, it's her. I said,
in French, it means my Princess Annette in French.
I said to her, I want to spend the next 3 years building a pedestal. I want to get you on that pedestal. And when you're comfortable with that pedestal, that people see they're here to serve you, my job is done. And 3 years later, she was a completely not different woman, but the real woman emerged from the oppression that she was hidden under. So I think you need to give a round of applause to Annette.
So I have a whole color note here on passwords suggestions, and these are things that I've changed my passwords, and a lot of them are based around things that Andrew has said over the years. Live with purpose, be the dream, you got this, Amazon status, live in leadership, success now, level up, see the good, step up. So these are some of the passwords over the years that I change my passwords to because I constantly want to remind myself and live in it. Now it's breakthrough now. So thank you.
So breakthrough lifestyle is a sequence of breaking through.
And I broke through, and I think I have physically and mentally broke through since I've met Andrew, because you'll look at me 25 years ago and you look at me today, and not only is my personality different, but physically everything is different because of how I've consistently been breaking through with that.
Here's a really, it's a great story. Here's the weird thing, guys, that I would say at times in my relationship with Annette, I've been the accelerant, but at other times I've been the deterrent. Because we all go through cycles. We're never just the perfect person all the time, are we? But you just go through those phases. You know, some of us are experiencing life with somebody who's decelerating us right now. You just accelerate regardless. You continue to accelerate. So for breakthrough, number one, make breaking through a lifestyle. Number two, accountability brings acceleration. Could you write that down? Accountability brings acceleration. You may not be with a partner that it feels good being accountable to. It's okay. We'll get through it. But find somebody that you're accountable to that will create acceleration. Even if they're not this amazing coach, they're just somebody you have to say, Guadalupe, it's Tuesday. I've done no appointments. And you say, okay, this is Guadalupe. I've done 3 of my 6. Just giving that account and being real like that, you're now measuring your life, and you can change what you measure. You cannot change what you don't measure. Everybody with me? So part 1 is breaking through lifestyle. Part 2 is accountability brings acceleration. And part 3 of 4 parts is your Inc. news story. And those of you who are on Win Team know this, that we teach this 8 power moves for success. I'm teaching it this afternoon at 3 o'clock. I'm going to go through all 8 power moves. And one of the power moves is running your power performance tracker. And in that tracker, every week at the beginning of the week, you make a declaration of how you're going to break through that week, because we know an accumulation of breakthroughs get you at what we call future you. At the end of the week, you then publish an article, even if you're the only one who reads it, that says what happened to your business this last week. So for example, Annette W. Inc. accelerates business in second week of August, right? 10 people join her team. 3 escrows closed. Investors are excited about the future of Annette W. Inc. That's 1 week. So each week you write a short article about what breaking happened the previous week. But before the week starts, you write what your projection is that you're going to do for the next week. Does everybody understand? I promise you, the minute you do this, you will start to transform your life. It's that writing it down and turning to somebody you love and saying, I am going to do this. And you're in a safe environment that if you don't, they don't put you down. But if you don't, you look at your structure and say, where did my KPIs break down? Now I'm going to start another week and start again. Okay, so part 1 is breaking through lifestyle. Part 2 is acceleration through accountability. Part 3 is Inc. your business. And part 4 is track your training. And that's the 8 power moves for success, power performance tracker. Here's the deal. If you don't use a power performance tracker, use something. Use something that you track yourself. Are you with me? I'll finish with this, and then we'll go into some more things happening with the team. You all know that Jonathan, after living on Bear Creek Golf Course for 15 years, suddenly started to be interested in golf. Now he's interested in playing golf. By the way, those of you, and some of you are into golf, I think you are. This last week, he shot a 38 and a 41 front and back nine. He's been playing less than 6 months. It's extraordinary. Now, it's not to please daddy. He just suddenly out of the blue, he just loves it, right? And he's out there 3-4 hours a day. He's 15 years old. He has this black book that he bought on Amazon like this, cost him $3. It's got a little strap around it. He says, Dad, I don't want the pages to get messed up. He opens it up. He has 150 yards, 170 yards, 190 yards. He measures every shot. How many shots are within 20 feet of the pin at 150, 170, 190? And at the bottom of the page, it says a percentile, and he knows his percentile at 150 yards for each of his clubs, and 170 and 190. So 3 months ago, we're out on the golf course in Arrowhead, and here, he can't hit a green. Because most kids at 15 are just like real estate agents. I just sold another deal. They're not interested in KPIs. They're just interested in a good IG story. But he realized something. If I can do it over and over again, and when I stand over the ball in a competition, I know I've got an 87% chance of hitting that green. He says, Dad, I'll be more relaxed. So now we go out and we play. We played Arrowhead this last weekend. He hit 70% greens. It's extraordinary because he just knows his KPIs. And he's not in it for the world to go, oh, Jonathan Warburton. He's in it because he loves the sport and he wants to show that he can break through. So he's breaking through week after week. So we now do something called par cards. It's really interesting. We don't actually score. He goes around the course, and every time he hits a par, he puts 1 on there. So his highest par card 2 weeks ago was 4. This last weekend, he did a 9 par card right in front of me. Unbelievable. So what's it about? He's breaking through in a series, in a safe environment with Dad. He's breaking through. So I want to ask you guys, how many are in for 15 for 2? How many are in for 15 for 1? We got your names. We're going to share with you. Can you share right now the chart with everybody on the chat? We're going to share the Google Doc. If you'd like your name on this Google Doc, go into the link on the chat right now to this chart and add your name at the bottom. So we're just going to give that to you, and we're going to move on to something else. Was this beneficial to you? Yes or no? Okay. We now need to talk to you about Zillow. Oh, 24-hour seller map and property alerts. We wanted to touch on those, didn't we? Did you do this thing and send out the link? So you know what? Do that while people aren't waiting. Yep, but you will see it in your feed, okay? Can we send out an email to everybody where they have that, the Win Team Winners August Google Doc? Let's send it out to everybody today, okay? All right. Just want to refresh your memory on the Blitz protocol. You can get 50 leads at a time assigned to you. How do you get the 50 leads? Does everybody know? You go to twtagents.com. You go down to leads, and there's a link. You fill out the form. It drops back to our marketing department. And within 2 or 3 days, you'll have those 50 leads show up in your follow-up boss. Your job is to set each of those 50 leads into property alerts. You're going to hashtag every lead with your name right there. Okay? Create a real-time note with anybody who interacts with you. So you get the lead, you set them up on a property alert, a push notification alerts you. When you get that alert, you send a text through FUB, or you make a call through FUB, you connect with that client. As soon as we see that you're connecting with those clients, that lead's yours forever until you stop working them. You're building your own business. Create a real-time note, set up follow-up tasks for yourself, and send screenshots to your customers. I'm going to teach all of this in Digital Footprint. I did a little bit of it this morning in the Win Team. These leads are available right now. As soon as you do your 50 property alerts, if you want 50 more, you can have them, and 50 more, and 50 more, and 50 more, and 50 more. And you guys can have 6 people on your team a year from now. Still with have this super stud selling, if that's what you want. It's just up to you. Okay? Blitz protocol. Any questions? It's all at twtagents.com. Can you very quickly, is it possible you can just bring up TWT agents again, because we've got new people. I want to quickly show it. Just open a browser real fast. This is constantly changing. Here's twtagents.com, right? So all of your tools are right here, agent tools. If you tap on that, scroll down here, everything you need is here. Here's Reveal and Bob. This is going to be the core of your business, the book of business. Come to boot camp, we'll teach it to you. Here's your boot camp slides. Here's your digital footprint. Here's your Blitz Leads protocol right here, what I just explained to you. So you never have to be confused, right there. Here's your buyer pack and your listing pack in Canva so you can customize it and personalize it. By the way, a lot of you don't know this. Some of you have asked, but we're moving more and more and more into listings, and we're going to tell you about that in just a moment. If you have a listing that is a company listing, it has a Warburton Team sign on it, you are perfectly at liberty to have a writer on that sign with your name so those calls go through to you. We're happy for that to happen. Secondly, if you list a property that's your own personal business, make yourself, please be EXP compliant, make yourself an EXP sign that says Howard Watson. And it's going to have a little icon on it that says the Warburton Team, a little icon on it that says EXP, and a big ass name across the middle that says Howard Watson, and your number on it, and take those calls, right? We want you to build your brand. We want you to grow a business. We're giving you everything we possibly can. It's just if you go out and do that on your own right now, there's very few people in this room who have $10,000 to spend on leads. We're spending 70, right? So use that, right? Ride on our shoulders. And 2 years from now, you should be flying. So it's all right here. Here's your objection scripts, buyer scripts, making offers scripts, seller scripts, email templates. Go back up to the top. So what was this about? That was about the Blitz slides. So let's go back to the Blitz slides right here. Look, click on that. And here's the protocol, exactly how it operates. All right, let's go back to the home page. Back to the home page. Oh, so go to the bottom of this on Agent Tools. Here's all your personalized marketing. Here's your training materials and process. Scroll down. Here's your personalized marketing, right? All your branding, logos, and images. And here's how we built a personal flyer for you. You can adapt and brand it yourself in your contract templates. Let's go back up to the top. And let's go to TWT leads. If you want to access listing leads, you go here. If you want to access Blitz leads, you go right here. You just click on this and register. It goes through to the marketing department, and they'll be in touch with you, okay? And access listing leads, I want to touch right now on, really quickly, the listing leads piece. Are you going to speak about that on the map, or are you just going to show the map? Okay. So to access the listing leads, you're going to tap on right here, and you can read what the protocol is for listing leads. We have something now called a listing leads map. Click on that real quick. So those of you who are meeting your Zillow metrics, those of you who are meeting your Zillow metrics, who are active on the team, we're going to provide you the listing presentation. You're going to customize the listing presentation to your own personal piece. You're co-branded with the Warburton Team unless it's a personal lead. And you will now have access to these listing leads. You'll be given a password, and that will lead you to, can you show the map? It's okay. Okay, if it's going to take a while, we'll do that later. Yep. So there is a listing leads map where, here it is. It's coming up right now. I'd love people to see it if they can. No, not possible. Okay. All right. So there's a listing leads map. That map, once you get approved for the listing leads, that map shows in real time every listing lead there is. You have the ability, once you're in the listing lead group, any listing lead that is red, you can tap on that listing lead and you can go and drop by that house and pursue that lead. The minute it goes from red to yellow, It means an agent is already engaged with the seller. See right here. Look, so right here. So here's the listing leads. Anything that's red is still available. This is either a for sale by owner or an expired that we have spoken to that says they will be working with an agent within 90 days, right? Have a look right here. There's multiple lead sources that we have. So when you speak to one of those listing leads and you're doing the work and you're going by, make sure you notify the ISA that you've made contact with the seller, and it will go yellow. For example, Mirka just did one. Sorry to keep talking about her, but she just did it. Mirka just did one up in Corona, $2.8 million. They're a little bit overpriced. Rejected on the phone, the house. He's now texting her every day. He has to move because his kids are going to school in Irvine. It's extremely likely she will get that listing. Why? Because she saw it on the map. She went, I'm showing in Corona. She went by the house, went in, won the guy over. Now she sent a listing presentation to him. He's texting her every day, right? So this is a huge part of what we're doing, the listing piece. I want to tell you something else. Go really quickly to Zillow Seller Showcase. I need to show you something here. So let's go back. Yeah, there you go. You're doing great. I know I'm dancing around a little bit here. So big news flash right now. All right. So hold on a second. So we were buying Zillow leads and Realtor.com leads and blah, 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 blah. And about 2 years ago, 2 years and 6 months ago, Zillow said to us, would he come on Flex? And a guy called me. His name is Sam Boucher. And he said, Andy, we want you to do it. You remember, I told you that he called me. I'm pretty sure you were here at that time. And cut a long story short, got another call from him this last week. And they now would like us to start taking listing leads from Zillow. So we already have listing leads from the International Call Center. Yeah. We already have listing leads coming from the International Call Center. We already have listing leads coming from the folks in New York. So we already have opportunity. You can see them on the map. This opportunity begins at the end of this month. Then now, because we hit that 125%, they're very excited again about the team, which is great. So here we go. So next week, Sam is going to be on a Zoom with us in this training. And he's going to walk us all through how it works, how the program works, how Showcase works. So there's two parts to this. One part is Showcase, which is Zillow's enhanced way of representing listings. And you'll hear all about that next week on Showcase. It's really something very, very special. It's been out now for a couple of years. And the second piece is, as not only do we have access to Showcase, we also, as of August 27th, have access to seller leads through Zillow. So we're looking for the people who are on Win Team, who are accountable, who are working through their numbers, who are meeting the criteria, who are converting leads. We want people who convert leads. You don't have to be a superstar. We just want people who know how to speak to people converting leads to go on to this program. So let's do a quick view here of Zillow Showcase.
What if I told you there's a Zillow product that can help sell your home faster and for more money? Introducing Showcase Listings. On average, a Showcase listing can sell for 2% more. That's $9,000 more on a home sold at the average U.S. home sales price. A Showcase listing is also more likely to go pending the first 14 days compared to similar nearby non-Showcase listings on Zillow. With limited availability in your market, Showcase helps your home stand out from the competition and wow prospective buyers with high-res scrolling hero imagery, a virtual tour, and an interactive floor plan on a map, giving buyers a clearer orientation of the home and nearby streets. This unique AI-powered listing display includes dedicated Showcase email alerts to buyers looking for homes like yours. Your Showcase listing also helps elevate your home's visibility with prioritized placement in buyers' personalized search results on Zillow. That means over 65% more page views, saves, and shares for your listing. Want your home to stand out from the rest? On the U.S. real estate website, visited by more than 231 million average monthly unique users? Ask your agent about an exclusive Showcase listing by Zillow.
All right, so exciting times. Anybody excited about having Zillow seller leads coming here? There's just more and more coming, guys. Very, very exciting. By the way, this will affect Arizona. We've now built out the Arizona website. It is now live. We're making some more adaptations this week. We're just growing everywhere you can possibly imagine. So I love it that we're building this relationship through the Win team. We're building the relationship together. It's absolutely fabulous.